Hi guys, it's Ms. Berg again. I am going to be doing 7-6 now. This is just multiplication of fractions. Just remember you need to learn your multiplication facts. I cannot stress that enough. We've already are talking about some dates for the Ohio State testing coming up. So those of you who think we're not going to be having one, we are definitely going to be having the state test still this year. So I'll be telling you more about that once we have a set in stone date. But just remember, you really need to start building your multiplication facts. You're definitely going to need them for the state test. There's nothing else you can do about that. So I am going to flip this around and talk about this one. All right, so this is just fraction multiplication. Sesha has 3/5 of a scarf left to knit. If she finishes a half of that today, how much of the scarf will Sesha knit today? So it's saying how much of the scarf does she have left to knit? She has 3/5 left to knit. And then of the fraction that is left, how much will she finish today? If you come back in, she is going to do half of that today. So we have to figure out what half of 3/5 is. So what they want you to do first, remember, this is like your rows, this is your columns. So they want you to shade 3/5 of the model yellow. Okay, so I'm going to take my yellow and I am going to shade it 3/5. This is how much she has left to do. And then it says she is going to do half of this today. So now it says now you're going to do half. So now we have to do 2 rows and then we're going to shade one of the 2 rows. So now we're going to just split this in half. And then we're just going to shade one of those, shade one of the 2 of the yellow sections blue. Okay, so I'm going to just shade this blue. Well, I'm just going to do a squiggly line so you can see better what is being overlapped. So if you look at this, how many of those are overlapping? There is only 3 with both colors in it. So therefore that would be 3 out of how many total make up this entire whole. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is 3/10 of it. Also, they said that you could also use a model to solve that problem, or you could just simply use multiplication. So when you use this, you could do a half times 3/5, which is going straight across, or first you can see if there's any cross canceling that could happen. A 2 cannot go into 3 evenly, so that's not anything that could happen. But 1 can go into 5 times, but these numbers would not change. So therefore, you could just simply just go across if you can't cross cancel anything. So 1 times 3 is 3. And then over here would be 2 times 5 is 5. So then you just simply go across. What is 1 times 3? Would be 3. And then 2 times 5 would be 5. So your answer would be, oh, I'm sorry, 2 times 5 is my fault. I'm so sorry. 2 times 5 is 10. So my answer should be 3/10. So Sasha will knit 3/10 of the scarf today. So you see how we still got 3/10 and just did it 2 separate ways. So my advice to you is probably just do the easier one, which is just multiplying, because some of these numbers are just going to end up being really big, and to make them sit in there doing a model to solve it may take a lot of time. So your best bet is just to do it the going across method. Remember, with multiplication of fractions, you do not need to find a common denominator. So there is no common denominator needed to be found. Okay, here we go. This one says, remember, you can also write a whole number as a fraction with a denominator of 1. So we have talked about that. If you have 4 wholes, but we still want them both in fraction formats, the thing that we can do to 4 to still make it a fraction and still say 4 is just put a 1 under it. Because how many ones go into 4 is still 4. It's just another way of saying it. So in this case, I'm just going to put 4 over 1. Now, some of you may choose to want to do the cross-canceling method. I'm going to write them both ways, just in case of which way you choose. So what cross-canceling, you can look here. Look at the smaller one. The smaller one is 1. Can I get a 1 into 5? Yes, I can. How many ones go into 5? It is still 5. So in this case, 1 goes into 5, still 5. So therefore, my answer is still a 5. And then what is truly under here, we just never write it. It's still a 1. So therefore, my numbers do not change. That 5 is still going to be a 5. The 1 is still going to be a 1. So there is no cross canceling that can happen. Now here, if I do it this way, can a 4 go into 12 evenly? And so you can say, okay, 12 divided by 4. Can a 4 go into 12 evenly? You should be saying yes. It goes in 3 times. So remember, it does go into 12 3 times. So that 12 is now going to become a 3. And then remember, what is hidden here is a 1. So it's just going to become a 1 because it cancels itself out. So this would be a 1. And then this one would now be a 3. And now you can go ahead and go across. What is 1 times 5? It would be 5 over 1 times 3, which is 3. All right, so can we have that as an answer? No, we cannot. So how many 3's go into 5? That is only once. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract, that would be a 2. So my number would be 1 whole and 2 thirds. So that is the cross-canceling method to do that. The other thing you can just simply do is just go across. So what was missing down here would be a 5. Then what is missing down here is a 1 and a 12. So you just simply go across. 4 times 5 is 20 over 12. And you can't have that. So how many 12s go into 20? 12 goes into 20 only once. 1 times 12 is 12. Can I have 0 and take away 2? No. So 10 minus 2 is 8. So therefore, my answer would be 1 whole and 8 twelfths. So my answer could either be 1 and 8 twelfths. Now, if you want to reduce this down, what can go into both 8 and 12? If you use the factor rainbow, you would have saw this. 8 can go into 8, but it cannot go into 12. Can a 4 go into 8 and into 12? Yes, it can. So you could have divided these both by 4. And then how many 4's go into 8 would be 2. How many 4's go into 12 would be 3. And then that would still be 1 whole. So it's just another way of saying exactly what we did up here. Just this one is in simplest form and this one is not. Okay, now this one says, try this. And guys, this is something that you are definitely going to be seeing next year. So it's really good to go ahead and start using this and start doing it. It says evaluate. Evaluate just means solve. Evaluate C times 4/5. For C, you're going to put in, it's going to be C is going to equal 2 over 2. So what is another way to write the value of C? Well, it's already telling you C is going to be, so it says C times 4/5. All right, well, what did it just say C is equal to? C is equal to 2 over 2. So that is what they wanted you to put in the place of that. Now they want you just to solve this. So you could either just go across or you can cross cancel if you see anything that can be cross canceled. So I'm going to show you both ways again, because it's up to you which way you want to do it. You can look here. Can a 2 go evenly into 5? It cannot. But can this 2 go evenly into 4? And it can. So 2 can go into 4 twice. And then this would just cancel out to be a 1. Now you can just strictly go across. 2 times 2 is 4 over 1 times 5 is 5. So therefore, your answer is going to be 4/5. Why is it going to be 4/5? Because what is another way of saying 2 over 2? It is 1 whole. So basically all this was saying was 1 times 4/5, which is still going to be 4/5. Also, you could have done the other way, which is 2/4 and 2/5. So you could just simply go across, and that would have been 8/10. And this would be perfect enough for me as an answer. Also, some of you could see, hey, that could be reduced down, and it can. What can go into both 8 and 10? Remember, if you use our factor rainbow of the top number, 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. Can 8 can go into 8, but can 8 go evenly into 10? No, it cannot. How about a 4 can go into 10? No. Can a 2 go into 10? And that is where it can. So both of these can have a 2 go into it. So how many 2's go into 8 would again give you a 4. And then how many 2's go into 10 would be a 5. So it still could be reduced down to 4/5. So these are both the same thing. All right, this one says, will you get the same result if you multiply 4/5 by any fraction with a numerator and a denominator that are the same digit? So when you multiply 4/5 by any numerator and denominator that have the same digit, so I'm just going to say 10 over 10. If I do this, what will be my answer? Will it still come out to be 4/5? And the answer is yes, because a fraction with the same digit I'll say same number number in the numerator and denominator is equal to 1 whole. The product of a fraction times 1 whole will always equal that fraction. Okay, so that is that. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some more with you. It is up to you whether you want to write it in simplest form or not. I will give you that option. So that is optional because remember on the state test, it allows you to choose whether to do it in simplest form or not. They will still give you the correct answer as long as it is anything that is equal to that answer. So in this case, it kind of already set it up for us. It went and it put it over 1. So you can go ahead and look and see if anything can cross cancel easily. Can a 6 go into 8 evenly? No. Can a 1 go into 6 evenly? Yes, but it would still be 3. So therefore, that's not going to change anything. So what you could do is you could just simply go across. That would be 18 over 1 times 8 is 8. Remember, you do not need to find a common denominator with multiplication of fractions. Now, it is 18 over 8. Can I have that as an answer? I cannot. So therefore, can 8 go into 18? 8 can go into 18 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract, that would be a 2. So your answer is 2 and 2/8. Now you could have reduced this and could have had a 2 go into both of these. So if you wanted to go that route, it would have been 2 and 1/4 if you did it. But I would simply be okay with you just saying 2 and 2/8. Again, on your homework tonight, I do want to be able to see what you are doing. So please make sure that you are making it obvious as to what you are doing. So in this case, you could do one of two ways. You could just simply go across, which 3 times 8 is 24 over 8 times 9, which is 72. And this could simply be the answer. Or you could done the cross canceling method. In this case, can an 8 go into 8 evenly? Can an 8 go into 8 evenly? 8 can go into 8 one whole time. So if I want to make that into a fraction, it would be 1 over 1. So therefore, both of these would cancel each other out and be 1s. And then here, can a 3 go into 9 evenly? And yes, a 3 can go into 9 3 times, and then this would cancel to be a 1. So when you go across, it'd be 1 times 1, which is 1, over 1 times 3, which is 3. So therefore, you could have also had 1/3 be an answer as well. There was actually, you could have said like 3/8 could have been sorry, 3/9 could have been an answer as well. There were several answers as long as they are equal to each other is all that they want. All right, so whichever way is best for you, go ahead and use it. So if you don't like the cross canceling method, don't use it. So on this one, here, you could do the same thing. I'm going to put it over 1, and then I'm going to rewrite it down here as well. All right, so on this one, if I use just the going across method, it would be 27 times 2. So I'd have to figure out what 27 times 2 is. So this would be 14, carry my +1. Then 2 times 2 would be 4, plus 1 is 5. So this is 54 over 3 times 1 is 3. Now, can we have that as an answer? No, we cannot. So therefore, we have to divide it out. 3 can go into 5 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract, that would be a 2. Check it. We are okay. Bring down your 4. How many 3s go into 24? Would be 8. 8 times 3 is 24 with nothing remaining. So therefore, my answer is just 18. On this one, you could have gotten the same thing by doing, can a 1 go into 2? Yes, that would be 2, so nothing would cross cancel here. Can a 3 go evenly into 27? Yes. So 3 can go into 27 9 times. So therefore, that would be a 1 now. So when you go across, it would be 2 times 9, which is 18 over 1 times 1, which is 1, which is still your 18. So you're still going to get 18 no matter which way you use. If you choose the going across method on this one, it would have been just 15. And then this one would be 12 times 5, which is 60. So you could have had that as an answer. This is plenty good as an answer. Now, if you use the cross canceling method, can a 5 go into 5? Yes, it can. It would go in once, and then this one would cancel to be a 1 as well. Can a 3 go into 12 evenly? Yes. 3 can go into 12 4 times, and then that would be a 1. So when you go across, 1 times 1 is 1, over 4 times 1 is 4. So you could have had 4 over 1/4 as an answer as well. All right, so here, again, you can use the cross canceling method if you can. So if I look at it, can a 1 go into 5? Yes, but it's just going to be a 5, so no numbers are changing. Can a 2 go into 3 evenly? And that is a no. So in this case, the cross canceling does not work. So therefore, if there is no way to cross cancel, what do? We just simply go across with it. So sometimes you're just, not every time are you going to have fractions that are going to cross cancel, and that is okay. If you don't, just go simply across. 3 times 1 is 3, and 2 times 5 is 10, and this is your answer. Next, same thing again. If you want to use the cross canceling method, can 3 go into 4 evenly? No. Can 2 go into 5 evenly? That is another no. So therefore, cross canceling will not work with these two fractions. So all you have to do is simply just go across. 2 times 4 is 8 over 3 times 5 is 15. So that is my answer. Next, same thing. If you want to use the cross canceling, can 1 go into 8? Yes, it can, and it's still 8, so nothing changes. Can 3 go into 5 evenly? No, it cannot. So in this case, you only have the option of going across. So 1 times 5 is 5 over 3 times 8 is 24. So it would be 5/24. Next one, these are both not in fraction form. So to put it in fraction form, I need to put a 1 under it. So can 1 go into 1? Yes, but it's not going to change anything. Can 4 go into 5 evenly? No, it cannot. So in this case, your only option is just simply go across. 4 times 1 is 4 over 1 times 5, which is 5. And that is your only answer. All right, so I want you to try 9 through 16 on your own. So please pause this and try it again. You do not have to use it in simplest form, but you may if you would like. So please pause this and try these on your own. All right, so if you did this, you could have just have simply gone across and gotten 2 over 8. So you could have just gone across and did 2/8. That is plenty fine as an answer. Now, if you chose to reduce it, a 2 can go into both 2 and 8. And if you did that, it would come out to be 1/4. This one, there would be no cross canceling option. So you would just go across, which would have been 16/45. Here, there was a cross canceling option. And if you did that, it would have been 1/18. Or the other way that you could have done it would have been 2 over 36. Okay, next. Again, there was no cross canceling option. So your only option was just to go across, which would have been 30 over 7. And then how many sevens go into 30 would have been 4 and 2/7. Here, cross canceling is not an option here. So you would have just simply gone across. That would have been 8 over 35. Here, it would have had a cross canceling option. A 4 can go into 8 2 times. And then this one would cancel out to be a 1. So it would have been 7 over 2 times 5 is 10. Or you could have just simply gone across and said 28 over 40. That would have also been an answer as well. This one, you could have done a cross canceling if you would have liked to. A 2 can go into 8 evenly, which would have been just a 4, and this one would have been a 1, and that would have been 8 over 12, which if you reduce, a 4 can go into both, and then that would have been 2/3. The other thing that you could have done is you could have saw, oh, 8 times 8 is 1 whole, and it would have been 1 times 2/3, which is still going to give you your 2/3. The other thing that you could have done here is you could have done 16 over 24. And that would have been also a correct answer. So you had lots of answers for that. Here, you did have a cross canceling option that would have been 1. So then it would have been 4 over 1, which is just 4. Or you could have just simply gone across and put this over 1. So that would have been 20 over 5, which how many 5s go into 20 is still going to give you your 4. Okay, so now going in, it says of the pets in the pets show, 5/6 are cats. 4/5 of the cats are calico. What fraction of the pets are calico cats? So in order to figure this out, it says that 5/6 are cats, but we want to know how many are not just cats, but calico cats. So they said 4/5 of these cats are calico cats. So now we have to do 4/5 of the cats, and these are the cats. All right, so we can see if there's any cross canceling that can go on, or you can simply just go across. If you did the across method, it would have been 20 over 30, and that would have been good enough for me. Or you could have done some cross canceling. So I'm going to do that over here. A 5 can go into 5 evenly, and that would be ones. And then here you would just do 4/6, which they're both even, so 2 can go into both of these. So you could have just kept 4/6 as an answer, or you could have divided down even lower. How many 2s go into 4 would be 2. How many 2s go into 6 would be 3. So you would say 2/3 as well. So you had plenty of options on what fraction to use. All right, this one says 5 cats each ate 1/4 cup of canned food and 1/4 cup of dry food. How much food did they eat all together? All right, so 5 cats. So we have 5 cats. They each ate 1/4 and 1/8. 1/4 of the canned and 1/8 of the dry. So they actually had 1/4 of the can plus 1/4 of the dry food. So each cat actually ate, if you figure out what this is, 2/4 of a food. But there wasn't just one cat. There were 5. So you should be timesing this by 5. So you could put this over 1. Can any cross canceling happen? No, it cannot. So therefore, that would be just going across. That would be 10. And then 1 times 4 is 4. So you cannot have that. So how many 4s go into 10 would be 2. 2 times 4 is 8 with 2 remaining. So my mixed number here would be a big 2 whole times. And then my fraction part would be 2/4. So it'd be 2 2/4. Also, some people may say, oh, well, 2/4 is also saying a half. And you could have reduced both of these by 2 and getting that as well. So you could have said 2 2/4 or 2 1/2. Same exact thing. All right, next. Next part says speed skating is a popular sport in the Winter Olympics. Many athletes in the US participate in speed skating clubs and camps. At a camp in Green Bay, Wisconsin, 7/9 of the participants were from Wisconsin. Of that group, 3/5 were 12 years old. What fraction of the group were from Wisconsin and 12 years old? So, what of the participants were from Wisconsin? It was 7/9. And they said of this, 3/5 were 12-year-old Wisconsin people. So we had to do what 3/5 of this is. So see, you could just go straight across. If you chose to go the straight across method, it would have been 21/45. That is a fraction that they wanted. Or you could have done a cross canceling method, which it was an option here. 3 could go into 9 3 times. So this would have came out to be a 1. So when you go across, 1 times 7 is 7/5 times 3 is 15. Or you could have said 7/15. All right, next it says Maribel wants to skate 1.5 miles on Monday. If she skates 9/10 of a mile on Monday morning and 2/3 of that distance on Monday afternoon, will she reach her goal? And explain. All right, so it says if she skates 9/10 of a mile on Monday and 2/3 so this is Monday morning and then Monday afternoon. Okay, so Monday morning, she wants to skate 9/10. Monday afternoon, she wants to do 2/3 of what she did of that distance. So that she did in the morning. So 9/10 of that. If you did your cross canceling, this would 2 goes into 10 5 times. A 3 can go into 9 3 times. So when you go across, that is just saying 3/5 of a mile. All right, so in this case, she's going to go 3/5 of a mile in the afternoon and 9/10 in the morning. So 9/10 in the morning. But we got to say, okay, she has to go 3/5. So we had to figure out what this is total. Well, can we add these fractions together? You should be saying no, because remember when we're adding fractions, we have to find a common denominator. So a good common denominator, I can choose 50, or I could change my 5 up to a 10. And I'm going to do it that way because it's less work for me. So I'm going to times this by 2 and the top by 2. So that would be 6/10 plus 9/10. So if you now go ahead and add, that would be 15/10. So can I have that as an answer? I cannot, so I'm going to divide that out. 10 can go into 15 one time. That would be 10, subtract, that would be a 5. So therefore my answer would be 1 5/10. All right, now 1 5/10. And what is 1 5/10? Could I reduce this down? I most certainly can. I can have 5 go into both. So therefore, if I do that, 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 10 two times, and then it would be 1 whole. So remember she wanted to skate 1.5 miles. Did she meet her goal? And yes, she did. It did come out to be 1.5 miles. All right, next one. On the first day of camp, 5/6 of the skaters were beginners. Of the beginners, 1/3 were girls. What fraction of the skaters were girls and beginners? All right, so how would I do this? Well, in order to do this, I would have to find out what 5/6 times 1/3 is, or 1/3 of 5/6, doesn't really even matter. You could have had this one on this side, doesn't matter. So in this case, can I cross cancel anything? I cannot. So therefore, I'm just going to go straight across. It would have been 5/18 is the fraction. All right, I am going to have you try this one on your own. So please try this on your own and pause this. All right, so if you paused it, as you should have, and you try this on your own, you could have gotten 3/30 as an answer, which could have been reduced by both 3's to 1/10. So you could have said 3/30 or 1/10 as an answer there. All right, so now we're going to get to your homework. You can go ahead and cross out having the product be in simplest form. That is completely up to you if you want it in simplest form or not. Remember, the state test does not care which way you do it. So on your homework tonight, you will have 2 and 3. We are going to do 4 together. This one, it does have an option to do a cross canceling. So I am going to rewrite it so I can show you the cross canceling method if you chose to do that. Or you could have simply just have gone across and said 4/14, and that would have been okay as an answer as well. Here, the cross canceling method, if you chose to use it, a 2 can go into 4 2 times, and this would be a 1. So if you go across, 2 times 1 is 2, and 7 times 1 is 7. So you could have had 4/14 or 2/7. Here, there would have been no cross canceling method. So you could just simply go across and it would have been 20/8, which can you have that as an answer? And you should be saying, no, you cannot. So you're going to divide it out. How many 8s go into 20? Would be 2. That would be 16. When you subtract, you have 0 and take away 6. No, you cannot. So 10 minus 6 is 4. So this would be 2 wholes and 4/8, which comes out to be also known as 2.5. So whatever way you want to say, one of these 2 ways would be fine with me. All right, this one says Karen raked 3/5 of her yard. Minnie raked 1/3 of the amount that Karen raked. How much of the yard did Minnie rake? So it said Minnie raked 1/3 of the amount that Karen did. So 1/3 of means multiply. Karen, what Karen raked? Well, what Karen raked was up here. It is 3/5. So you could simply go across. If you use the across method, that would have been 3/15 of the yard. Or there was an option to do cross canceling because 3 can go into 3 one time. So they both cross cancel to be 1s. And 1 times 1 is 1 over 1 times 5 is 5. So one of these 2 ways would have been fine. 7 is another one. 8 is also going to be a homework problem as well. I'm going to do 9 with you. So what it's saying is it says evaluate the given value of the variable. So they're saying t times 3/4. For t, it's going to be 8/9. So they're saying wherever you see t, plug in 8/9 for it. So this is going to be 8/9, and then times 3/4 just comes down. You could have simply gone across, or there would have been an option to do a cross canceling method. If you did your going across method, it would have been 24/36. So that would have been a good enough. If you use the cross canceling method, a 4 could go into 8 2 times. And then a 3 could go into 9 3 times, and this would be a 1. So if you go across, that would have been a 2/3 times 1 is 3. So you could have said either of these. You're going to have 10, 11, I'm going to do with you. Again, wherever you see y, you're going to plug in that number that they're telling you to put in for it. So they're saying a y is going to equal 2/3, and then you're going to multiply by 6. So here you should have put it over 1. Also, this is another one that you could have done a cross canceling method with. So if you just went across, that would have been 12/3, which is how many 3's go into 12 would be 4 wholes. The other thing that you could have done is just simply gone across. 2 times 6 is 12/3, which is, oh, sorry, I was supposed to show your cross canceling method. So on this one, a 3 can go into 6 2 times. So 2 times 2 is 4/1, which is still your 4 wholes. All right. Number 12 is for homework. And then 13, a group of students attend a math club. Half of the students are boys and 4/9 of the boys have brown eyes. What fraction of the group are boys with brown eyes? So it's saying half are boys. And then it says 4/9 of the boys. So 4/9 of the boys were half, have brown eyes. So you could have done this 2 ways again, because there was a cross canceling method. If you just went across, it would have been 4/18, and that is good enough because it said what fraction. So here you could have cross canceled. A 2 could go into 4 2 times. So this one would be 2 times 1, which is 2 over 9 times 1, which is 9. So 2/9. All right. You do not have to do 14 on the back. I am going to have you do all 6. And then that would be your homework for 7/6. All right, guys, I will see you guys later. Bye.